There's a new drugstore setting spray that just came out that is making a splash. It makes some big claims, but the reviews so far have been pretty mixed. L'Oreal just launched their Infallible 3-second setting mist, and this is what we're gonna be testing today. This supposedly checks almost every box I would want checked from a setting spray, and a lot of people are comparing this to the One Size On Till Dawn setting spray, which has been very viral and very popular at Sephora for the past couple years. So does it work? Does it live up to all of its claims? And is it a dupe? That's what I'm gonna be trying to figure out in this video. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Miranda. My channel is dedicated to budget beauty. If that sounds like your vibe, hit subscribe. Let's go over some quick stats about what this is supposed to deliver before I do my makeup. This is supposed to be transfer resistant up to 36 hours, also water resistant and smudge resistant. It's supposed to leave a natural, healthy glow finish and prevent makeup from cracking and flaking. So let's do my makeup first. Now, I'm gonna go in using products that are not necessarily known for being long wear. I am priming my face with the e.l.f. Whoa Glow Sunscreen Primer. I have found that this helps extend makeup wear, but it's not like known for being super long wear, if that makes sense. I feel like it more leans into the SPF makeup hybrid versus being a long wear makeup product. Gonna spot conceal with my LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealers in Tawny and Bisque. I do want to point out that I am slightly peeling on my nose. I spent the weekend in the sun on vacation, and I thought I was doing pretty well with SPF reapplication. And I think for the most part I did, but I did notice today, after being back for a couple days, just the slightest bit of peeling right on top of my nose. So that'll be a fun factor for this test. I will be using a L'Oreal foundation today. This is their True Match Super Blendable Foundation in the shade N3, which is like one of maybe 5 perfect foundation matches I've ever found in my life. Now, this is not necessarily marketed to be a super long wear foundation. It's definitely more about the shade match and how it is supposed to like blend invisibly into your skin. I have found it to wear pretty decently, but I didn't want to test this setting spray on, say, like their Infallible foundation, which lasts really well on me anyway without priming and setting. So I thought this would be a good middle of the road foundation to use. This is also a medium coverage foundation, but with that concealer, we've gotten very close to full everywhere. You saw that I did have a little bit of redness and blemishes to cover. I'm gonna be doing my brows with powder today. I don't do that often, but all of my brow pencils are waterproof longwear formulas. So this is just the brow powder duo from Shop Miss A. Very curious to see how long this lasts with the setting spray on it. I will lock in my brow hairs with my Physicians Formula Brow Gel. Y'all know this is my go-to. I'm not gonna do any eyeshadow today. I'm just gonna put on some mascara. I guess this is the only like super long wear item that I am wearing, the e.l.f. Lash Extender Tubing Mascara. Going in with my Rimmel Natural Bronzer. This is in the shade Sun Bronze. This is a decent enough bronzer shade for me, so I can do defining and bronzing at the same time because it's on the more natural side. It's not super warm on me. Using my NYX Buttermelt Blush. This is in the purple shade called All the Butter. I feel like purple is such an underrated blush shade because it doesn't end up looking as crazy or out there as it does in the pan once it's on your face. Because once it starts blending in with your skin tone, you just get this really pretty wash of color that almost leans more pink. Highlighting with my Revolution Highlighter Reloaded. What in the... There's a rogue eyelash on this. I keep finding rogue eyelashes everywhere. This is the highlighter Reloaded in Raise the Bar. So pretty. Now I do want to set my under eyes on both sides. I'm using the Lottie London Ready Set Go powder. This is a pink setting powder, so it has a brightening effect. I would usually do this earlier in my routine, but I forgot. I'm a professional. As much as I really like this pink under eye powder, I actually hope that they make a lavender one because sometimes pink powder can pull a bit ashy on my skin tone. Although this one doesn't do it too much. That one actually looks okay. And I'll finish today's look with the Flower Beauty Perfect Pout Soft Matte Lip Color in Fig. Such a pretty berry for fall. Okay, just because I'm extra, I think I'm gonna make this a lip combo. I'm gonna put Dune at the center of my lips. I feel like I've been ruined. I can't just put one shade on my lips anymore. I always want to make it a combo. Okay, this is kind of a cute little summer to fall transition look. Now it's time for setting spray. So today's the control day. I'm only going to set half of my face. I'm gonna leave the other half alone so we can really see what the difference is using this versus not. And then tomorrow will be the dupe test. Now you may have noticed this looks like a little hairspray, and this is a continuous aerosol setting spray. And the directions say to spray in a circular motion for 2 to 3 seconds to get a very even, thin layer on the face. So I'm gonna guess that we don't wanna over apply this because sometimes I get a little generous with the spritzy sprays. All right, covering the side I don't wanna set, trying to get that halfway. Okay, I'm really gonna try to stop after 3 seconds. Okay. Okay, a little bit got in my nose and mouth, and it definitely smells like hairspray. I'm a little bit concerned. I only got it really on the front of my face. I don't really feel it right here. I might do a little bit more, just a little bit, right on the side here. Okay, that was like a second. Whew. Yeah, the experience is definitely hairspray on the face. I do feel like I was able to keep it in a thin layer. I feel it a little bit like right here, probably where the overlap is from where I got the side of my face and the front of my face. But right now, it doesn't feel heavy and it doesn't necessarily look much different side to side. Maybe I see a little bit more glow on my forehead on the set side versus the unset side because this is supposed to give a natural glow finish. I just hope I applied enough because I usually go in with my setting spray. Okay, here's what's on the agenda today. I have a ton of errands to run. It is pretty warm out, although it's like overcast warm. And I will also be lifting weights in my makeup. Something that I don't normally do, but I really want to put this to the test against sweat. So I'll see you in a bit for an update. Hello. It has been about 9 hours. I've not touched up any of my makeup at all since applying it earlier. And I gotta say, I've read a lot of the online reviews for this product, not necessarily from other influencers, but people who are just reviewing this setting spray on like Target.com. And as far as the negative reviews go, I hate to be that person, but I feel like it's user error because I'm not experiencing any of like the recurring problems I kept seeing in the reviews. I saw a lot of people say that they felt that it was sticky, that it looked like they had a shiny mask on their face. And I think people are applying too much because y'all know I was trying to be really serious about the 3-second spray. And besides one area on my face, everything is looking better on the set side than the unset side, very noticeably. Let me first direct you to my nose because that's where I feel like there's a lot going on. My nose tells a story. So first of all, when I was in the car, I was wearing sunglasses and I did notice when I took my sunglasses off that I actually had foundation on either side of the nose rest. So here is the unset side. Obviously there is a glob of makeup missing, but we also have it on the setting spray side. Now, to be fair, I don't know if I've actually ever found a setting spray that can hold up against sunglasses wear. If you have a tip, let me know in the comments. So it was just a little bit disappointing because it did say that it was transfer proof and we definitely got transfer and smudging here. But, and I hope that the camera can pick this up, but I can actually see a line down my nose kind of separating the unset side and the set side where there's so much more makeup left on my nose on the set side. I feel like there's barely any makeup at all left on the side that I didn't spray. I'm definitely very sweaty and oily around my nose and the foundation just broke up around my nostril, all over this area, and frankly, just right up to that line where I sprayed the foundation. On the set side, it's patchy, just a little bit, but there's still so much more product there. Now let's talk about the blush. I will say that the unset side doesn't look awful, but there is a bit of patchiness specifically around my blemishes and where I have texture. So you can see right here and here I have larger blemishes. I just have texture throughout my cheek. And I do feel like while you can definitely still see the blush, it's just a lot of my skin and dark spots peeking through. Whereas on the set side, I just just feel like there's a little bit less and overall a more smooth and even appearance to the color. Now this next thing, I think you're gonna have to look really closely, but I do feel like it's worth pointing out. I think that my under eye area on the set side looks way better than the unset side. I feel like you can see more fine lines on the unset side, and there's still a little bit of creasing, despite the fact that technically I set both sides with that Lottie London powder, but I think the spray just gave this side a little bit more longevity and smoothness. It stayed pretty comfortable throughout the day. I don't feel like my skin is sticky at all, and I don't think it looks very shiny either. Now don't click away just yet, because tomorrow we have the dupe test. Good morning, it is the next day and we're back for the dupe test. Yesterday during all of my errands, I took a little trip to Sephora to pick up the One Size On Till Dawn setting spray. Now this is the mini version, which costs $17. The full size version costs $32. Now despite there being so much chatter about how this L'Oreal spray is a dupe for this one, I'm already noticing differences just by the way these are labeled and advertised. First of all, this One Size setting spray is supposed to be mattifying, whereas the L'Oreal one is supposed to leave you with a little bit of radiance. So I'm curious to see how that actually looks on the face. And also the wear time claim is pretty drastic. The One Size setting spray claims 16-hour wear, whereas the L'Oreal one is double that at 32. Now y'all know that I'm not going to be wearing my makeup for 16 to 32 hours, but I will be putting these to the test against sweat and water to see if one does better than the other. So I already did my makeup today with all of the same products as yesterday. The only difference is I added lashes because I'm testing out this new active lash line. Starting with the L'Oreal, I'm gonna do the same side as yesterday. That might have been 3 to 4 seconds, but I was trying to get this area as well, which I missed yesterday. But that feels good. It doesn't feel like I got too heavy of a layer. I also remembered not to breathe too early, so that way I didn't inhale a lot of that hairspray essence. Now let's try One Size. This one says hold 10 to 12 inches away from face and spray in circular motion, but it does not say to only do it for like 2 to 3 seconds. But I will try to apply the same amount. I feel like the mist on this was a little bit more fine and light. Oh wow, okay, I can see the difference right away in terms of the finishes. The L'Oreal side is definitely radiant and I almost feel like it boosted my highlight. And the One Size side has definitely been mattified. You can really tell looking at my forehead. And my highlight on this side looks a lot more subtle now than the L'Oreal side. I don't think I necessarily prefer one side or the other. I think it would just depend on what I was going for that day. Now today's wear test is not gonna be as long as yesterday's, but it's gonna be more intense. I'll be doing cardio to see how they do against sweat as well as a waterproof test. I'm back from my cycling cardio, just took a little break to eat lunch, and I'm very intrigued with where we're at with these setting sprays. I do want to point out that the One Size spray does not claim to be sweat proof, but honestly, I think it's doing a little bit better. The very first thing I noticed is that on the L'Oreal side, there is literally a line of missing makeup where I had a bead of sweat drip down my face. And I know I was dripping sweat on the One Size side as well, but I'm not seeing any disturbances in my face makeup at all. This side is still looking very smooth and still pretty matte. Now when I was done working out, I did a little transfer test because the L'Oreal spray is supposed to be transfer resistant and the One Size spray is supposed to be transfer proof. But I wasn't really blown away with either spray when it came to this claim. You can definitely see my foundation coming up. My brow is just like stamped on this paper towel. And you can even see almost like the outline of my chin along the bottom. And the One Size spray didn't really do all that much better. There's definitely less brow coming off, but I would say very equal amounts of foundation and a little bit of blush as it goes down my cheek outline. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I will say that I do feel like my makeup still looks okay. Aside from this sweat drip trail, I think that like my blush is still just as intense as before I worked out, and overall my foundation is still maintaining coverage. Also, weirdly enough, my brow on the L'Oreal side still looks a lot stronger, even though I got more brow transfer after sweating than the One Size side. I feel like it's just faded up at the top. Maybe there was less transfer of the brow on this side because more of it sweat away. Now it's time to finish off this video with a waterproof test. And just to jog your memory, the One Size spray does say that it's waterproof, while the L'Oreal spray says it's water resistant. I will be spraying myself directly in the face. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, I think, is that enough? One for good luck. Let's see up close what's happening. Do you see anything? Do you notice anything? There's a lot of drippage going on. Oh my goodness. This is the L'Oreal side. I will say something's stinging my eyes, so let's get this over with. There's like a tiny bit that came off of my nose and my brow and my lips, but really not a lot. Okay, here's the one side. Again, they're just so similar. First of all, this looks creepy, but honestly, I feel like they performed very similarly when exposed to water. Oh, I have a little bit of my tubing mascara coming off because that water was room temperature and not cold. I feel like the blush faded on the L'Oreal side. Am I crazy? Just looking side by side, I think it's stronger on the one side. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the appearance of my makeup, things still look okay. Yeah, my dark spots and my blemishes on both sides are pretty well covered still. I also want to point out that my under eye area on both sides still looks really smooth despite sweating and the monsoon of water. There is not any product breakdown in those areas at all. So just wanted to point that out because that's pretty impressive. Final thoughts on the L'Oreal Setting Mist versus the One Size Setting Spray. I mean, these just aren't dupes. You can't call them dupes, especially when off the bat they have completely different descriptions. With this one being mattifying and this one adding radiance, I think the word dupe was off the table for me from the start. However, I do think that the long-wear performance of the L'Oreal Setting Mist comes pretty close to the One Size Setting Spray. I mean, it was really within a few points of each other. But I want to know your thoughts. Have you been able to try this L'Oreal Setting Mist? Did you see a big difference between this and the One Size Setting Spray? Tell me what you think in the comments. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. If you want to keep watching, join me over in this video next where I try the top makeup trends for fall according to Pinterest. I'll see you over there. Bye!